Hello, Sue Jeffers, and thank you for tuning in today. I have brought another of my friends along, Kathy Lohmer. Welcome to the show, and I am so excited that the viewers will have a chance to get to know Kathy and hear some of the ideas that she has. We have been talking off air about how so many of the representatives that we have put in all levels of politics, whether it's in the school board or at the city council level or at the state level or even at the national level, how unhappy we are with some of the people who are supposed to represent us, and I use the term loosely. And I'm happy to say that there are a lot of people who are interested in running for office. I invited Kathy Lohmer here today so that she can tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about why you want to run for office.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks a lot for having me today. It's great to be here. I guess I can just start with who I am, Kathy Lohmer. I'm married to Greg. We've been married 30 years this October. We have 4 sons, ages 28 down to 19. And we're from Lake Elmo. Lived there for 20 years. My husband was born and raised in Stillwater. I was born and raised in Hastings. But we've lived in the area that I'm running for, 56A, for close to 30 years. So that's a little bit about me.
And tell us a little bit about those 4 sons you have.
Yeah, I have 4 sons. Like you said, Nick, my oldest, is 28. He was born with spina bifida. Mm-hmm. He got married last October to a lovely gal named Amanda, and we're just so happy for them. My son Chris is 25, and he's married as well to a darling gal, Kendra, and he's in the Army. He just made captain. We just went down to...
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And I bet you're so proud of your son.
I am. Anytime
all of your sons.
Anytime I'm around the military, though, you just stand up a little taller, and you're just so excited to be around these people who are willing to serve our country and to be there for our freedoms. So yes. You're right, I am proud of him.
Before we talk about your youngest son, we should point out on your collar you're a Blue Star mom.
I'm a Blue Star mom, which means that my son is in the Army and that he was deployed. He was in Iraq for 15 months, actually. He got back last October. 21-year-old Nate, who's going to school for computer networking, and my youngest Dylan is down at Winona State in his 2nd year. So
excellent. So you have your hands full with your family, your husband, of congratulations, 30 years.
Thanks.
And your 4 sons, and some of them are married.
Yep.
And you still decided you wanted to run for office. Mm-hmm. Why?
You know, it was probably my 4 sons that really compelled me to run, because I've been paying attention. I've been involved as a caucus attendee, a delegate, just really involved in my party for close to 20 years. But only helping other candidates, only just being there for that kind of thing, endorsing. I never really thought of myself as a candidate. But I've been paying attention enough to be getting really concerned about what's going on down at the legislature. And frankly, this was before the 2008 election, January to March before that, not sleeping, just what is happening? It's just, there's no common sense going on.
No.
Who's representing us? And thinking, who can run? I mean, why can't I run? I have common sense, I have integrity, and why can't I represent the people? So I think it was about a week before the endorsing convention that my husband and I had made the decision that we'll go for it. And I went to the convention, I gave a speech, and the delegates said, we want you to represent us. So there I went. And so I ran in 2008, and I got pretty close. I got 47.3% of the vote.
Which is fabulous.
Well, I thought for a first time out there, not really being known by anybody.
First time out there, and there was a big animosity towards the Republican Party.
Absolutely.
And for good reason. Mm-hmm. The Republicans had let us down. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know there's something wrong out there with the political picture. And people aren't alone when they're thinking about who's running, who do I want to support, what do I want to see happen. And I encourage all the viewers out there to take a look and look in the mirror. Are you the next Sarah Palin? Are you the next Are you the next Kathy Lohmer? Can you run in your district? Mm-hmm. And it all comes down to common sense. Mm-hmm. Who's representing us? What about we the people? Mm-hmm. So long ago, we've learned that the folks at the Capitol, we hear over and over and over, our state is broke. And they continue to spend money like it's going out of style, like there's a money tree in the back of the Capitol that they can go pluck it off and spend on whatever ridiculous idea they've come up with. So I wish we had more people like you who are willing to put their name and their feet and everything on the line to say, you know what, I'm willing to go to St. Paul, I'm willing to go, or if you want to run for school board or city council or whatever, I'm happy to see them put their money where their mouth is, and congratulations. It's not nearly as scary as people think, right?
Right, it's not. It's actually kind of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too, and you meet a lot of great people. And
the people, that's the best part about it.
Right,
Hearing them all talk about all the different things that interest them. And of course, nowadays, everything seems to revolve around the economy. Everything.
Yeah.
And like I said before, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or an economist to figure out there's something wrong with our economy. So I'm really sorry you lost. I'm really glad you're going to run again, because I know you can win this time, and I'll be out there door knocking for you. I know I will.
Thank you.
And but if somebody wanted to find out more about you, where do you have a website?
I do. It's KathyLohmer.com. So you can just, it's very easy, go to that. And then I have a blog that you can also read that connects you right from my website. So anything you need to know about me is on there.
Right.
So
and they could contact you if they had questions, or how to get involved in your campaign, or to make generous donations, or whatever however they wanted to get involved.
Right.
Because that's the most important thing.
Right.
So when you were over at the Capitol, what was the most astonishing thing to you? What did you see that made you think, oh my gosh, what are these people thinking? Or was there one piece of legislation that jumped out at you? I remember when I ran for governor, there were many things that made me angry, from eminent domain to tax increment financing to the spending to light rail transit to smoking bans to everything. But what finally pushed me over the edge was when Governor Pawlenty signed the Twin Stadium bill, taking away the right of the voters to have a referendum on if their taxes should be increased. And watching him sit on the floor of the Metrodome in his Twins jersey after 20 years of opposing publicly funded stadiums, to all of a sudden, it tipped me over the edge and I had to run. But was there one of those defining moments, or was it just a compilation of all of it?
Well, if you're asking me about what pushed me over the edge to run, it would probably be the taxes and just the deficit, you know, going from a surplus to, what's it, $1.2 billion surplus to a $2.4 billion deficit. And that's what we started with, but then by the time the election came around, or I think by the time it was over, it was 4.6.
Right.
And interestingly enough, the person in the seat now claims to be the only economist at the legislature. And so I just think it's quite interesting that we keep getting a bigger and bigger deficit under her and the others' watch down there. If you're the economist, why are we spending like we're spending? But after I lost the election, I started to go, it took me about a month to just kind of get myself back to see what do I want to do now. And I thought, well, I'm just going to go down and sit in on committee hearings and sit in more what's going on. So when I get in there, you know, there's a different language down there. I mean, there's a lot to learn. So I was floored in committee hearings, just at the arguments that were talked about. I was floored when I sat up in the gallery. And that's what I write about on my blog, actually, is just some different votes. One, for example, when they voted on taxpayer funding of abortion. One day, that bill was brought forth, and that ended up to be a tie vote. So when you have a tie vote, you lose. But we almost got rid of taxpayer funding of abortion. And it just really then cemented, I need to do this. I need to be that one vote. I need to get there. So there are lots of things, though, that whether it was Carla Bigham talking about early childhood from birth to 5 years old, developing a whole new bureaucracy for that.
Who needs the parents?
Well, yeah, they're going to come into your house and they're going to see what's in your refrigerator, and they're going to ask you if you know how to parent. What? Do we need that? Number one, we can't afford it, and since when do we not allow parents to be parents?